Hey everyone, Zach Carson, CSCS here. I'm going to go through what we call the Lunge Matrix, and basically it's kind of a warm-up, or it can be used as an exercise or a testing measure for any of our athletes. So with the Lunge Matrix, we're going to take everybody in the forward and back direction, and then we're going to go side to side, and then we're going to rotate also to make sure we hit all three planes of motion through the hips. So with the lunging matrix, in the forward and back motion, we're going to go ahead and lunge forward on that right foot. It's going to look like this. And we're going to lunge forward. And as we continue to lunge forward, we're going to take our hands, and we're also going to take our hands in the sagittal plane up and over our head. So as we lunge, we bring our heads up and over and return, up and over and return. And of course, we're going to go ahead and do that on the left foot also, as such. And we're going to do 10 on the right, 10 on the left. Then we're going to go into a posterior lunge direction, which isn't simply just your regular posterior lunge where we're lunging backwards, opposite of the forward. We're going to lunge actually into that leg, and we're going to load that back hip and kind of extend that front leg. So it's going to look like this, where we load this back hip and almost extend and stretch that hamstring on the opposite side. So as we lunge backwards, we load, and again, we can take those hands in the sagittal plane and go ahead and sweep them through our ankles. Down and through, and then again, we switch legs. And that again is 10 on the right, 10 on the left. All right, so we went forward and back. Now let's go side to side with our lunging pattern. So this one's gonna look like this. We're gonna lunge the same side or same side lateral on our right leg, just like a side lunge you've probably seen before. And then again, we can take those hands up and over our head, and we can drop them to the opposite direction. So we take our hands up and over, we lunge to the right, hands fall back to the left. Lunge to the right, hands fall back to the left. And again, we switch out, do it on the left leg. And that's 10 on each leg. Then we can go what we call the opposite side lateral direction, where we take this right leg and we lunge over our left. So it's going to look like this, lunging over the left. If you notice, my back foot does not roll out from underneath. We stay facing the same direction, so I'm not facing the direction that I'm lunging, but rather my hips and my shoulders stay square ahead. So we lunge over and down. Make sure you get enough forward movement on this leg to clear that back knee. And again, we can take our hands up and over our head, and we can go the opposite direction. So we lunge to the left, hands go back to the right. Really good stretch in that hip. And then we switch to the other side. And that again is going to be 10 right, 10 left. Now that we've went forward and back, we've went side to side, let's go ahead and take that into a rotational direction. So what that's going to look like is a reverse open lunge, where we take our right foot, reverse open, lunge back, and then from this axis, we're going to be about 90 degrees or 135 in the opposite direction. And back, and again, we take our hands, we're going to rotate with our toe. So our hands will follow our toe. We kind of rotate around. Same thing on the other side. As we switch, 10 on the right, 10 on the left. So that one is a rotate same side, so that's the same side rotation. Now let's go opposite side rotation, where we almost cross the opposite leg. So now we're going to take that right foot and we're going to lunge forward and over the left leg. Again, notice that my left foot does not rotate open, it stays forward, and I kind of get a really good rotation internally of that opposite hip. And then we take our hands and again follow our toe, and then we switch to the left. Again, that's 10 on the right, 10 on the left, and that's a really good way to get your hips warmed up in all directions.